Despite the recent upgrades to sustain that benefited many sustain brawling heroes like Lapu and Uranus, these heroes are still reliant on their teammates for pushing power and taking objectives to win matches. If you're watching this, you're probably a solo queue EXP main who's very frustrated with your pub teammates who just want to farm kills instead of trying to win the match. Well, I also had enough of those dark system teammates and decided to play heroes that can actually carry when the team sucks. I'm going to share with you 5 EXP laners that have really helped me to carry in solo queue this season, even when my teammates were bad. Starting off our list is a once popular EXP pick, even in the pro scene. Joy's best trait is her great mobility, which helps with ultra fast rotations and backline diving. She can also match the current sustain metagame heroes in terms of wave clear and rotation speed, which means you'll at least not fall too far behind in farm most of the time. However, she lacks sustain compared with most of the top EXP laners now, so she can fall behind in lane if you're constantly trying to trade HP with the enemy laner. The key here is to try and ignore trading with the opposing laner, and use Joy's speed to our advantage, cutting waves or using her dashes for shielding to absorb, or even avoid taking damage. Similar to most EXP laners on my list, each of them scale well into the late game, allowing us to carry the team when necessary. Damage is extremely important in solo queue as you can almost never rely on your team for damage for kills or pushing. Joy has great scaling with items and can easily burst down squishies once we farm up, so she can 1v1 or even 1v2 in the late game. This aspect is crucial for split pushing, as you'll force enemies to send at least 2 enemies if they want to defend, or Joy will just kill off the solo defender and push all the way. Split pushing is a key way to win in solo queue, as teams are less coordinated, which means the enemy team may not always send their most capable defender to defend the push, or they might not even defend at all. And because Joy can rotate quickly, we can also distract the enemy with a fake split push, and then quickly join a teamfight at the other side of the map. While Joy has many advantages, she also has a glaring weakness, which is that she needs to stack for dashes to enable her powerful ult. However, it's very easy for enemies to interrupt her dash combo, as a simple short stun can completely mess it up. The easiest way to avoid getting interrupted is to stack dashes outside of a fight first, and then entering with our ult immediately. But this is not always possible, especially if jungle creeps or enemy minions are not available nearby. In that event, you may have to take the risk and enter a fight to stack your dashes there while praying the enemy doesn't stop you. Despite that, Joy has remained one of my strongest solo carry EXP laners this season, with her great mobility and damage, helping me with split push strategies as well as being able to teamfight and assassinate backline targets when needed. Moving on to the next hero, we have a tank marksman hybrid that's super underrated this season. Edith currently has a very low pick and ban rate, making her a really good choice to main. She's also fairly easy to play, with simple skills and combos that even beginners can learn quickly. Edith is also really good against assassins, who are the most popular picks in the jungle right now. Over 90% of matches I've played in high ranks have been against assassin junglers, and Edith's lockdown with her first and second skill combo works super good against them. And also, because her outscales with defense stats, we can use a tank build to make ourselves extremely durable, while still having high damage output. She also possesses one of the strongest Uno reverse cards in the game, with her ult turning her into an absolute beast of a marksman. Edith's ult is so powerful that she can usually turn a losing fight around, as she can lifesteal and deal a heck ton of damage in her marksman form. But try to charge up the silver bar below her HP before ulting, as that improves her attack speed and lifesteal in her marksman form. However, Edith's weakness is how slow she is, and that her second skill cannot dash through walls, meaning you have to rely on ambushing or flicker for surprise engagements. This makes her quite predictable and easily outplayed by smart enemies. Her weak mobility and slow turret pushing speed also makes her unsuitable for split pushing, so that tactic isn't the best with her. But one thing Edith can do is actually melt the Lord super fast, giving you the chance to solo steal the Lord when the enemies are not watching. One of the main problems in solo queue is that teammates often refuse to take the Lord when there's a good opportunity, so having a hero that can actually solo the Lord is a major benefit. Next up, we have a hero that's mostly known as a counter pick. But since the metagame now includes so many heroes that use dashes, especially assassins, Mincy usually has good targets in almost every match anyways. That's because his ult can trap any enemy by disabling their use of dashes, including flicker. In addition to that, Mincy can be built with damage, and he can actually lock down and burst down squishy targets fairly quickly with his ult into second skill combo. We can even combine flicker with his ult to extend its range and surprise enemies. Because Mincy's second skill damage can scale with attack speed, he can be built with an attack speed build. This fact enables him to push turrets down quickly, which makes him a decent split pusher. The only issue is that he has no mobility skills, meaning his split pushing capability isn't top tier. As mentioned, because of how common assassins are, Mincy is usually great in most matches. His mere presence makes it difficult for most junglers to enter objective contests as they know they might not survive while Mincy is there with his ult ready. This alone gives a big advantage in most objective contests against assassin junglers. However, Mincy's main weakness is that he has no mobility skills, so he's reliant on flicker or landing his first skill for surprise plays. It also makes him an all-in type of hero when he engages, as he cannot escape if flicker is already used. Despite that, a skilled Mincy player will be able to harness his full potential most of the time in this metagame, and can solo carry a team as long as his skills are well-timed and accurate. Coming up next, we have probably one of the most frustrating and annoying heroes to play with or against. The Monkey King soon is one hero that many players either don't want on their team or don't want to have in the enemy team. But he is actually highly effective in the right hands. Soon has one of the fastest pushing speeds in the game, as he is able to summon clones to melt down turrets extremely fast. Leaving this monkey alone in lane is extremely risky, as he can solo push a lane all the way into the base if he wants to, so he can be really good at attracting the enemy's attention and making fake out plays. However, Soon does need some time to farm up, as his early game without items and levels is pretty weak. This is a major reason why many players don't like having the monkey on their team, as they often are not helpful in the early turtle contest. But if Soon does manage to get farmed or snowballs, it's hard to stop him. His burst damage is pretty insane, and he has dashes as well as immunity frames to outplay enemies. When Soon is farmed up, his clones alone will deal massive amounts of damage, even to tanks, as his passive naturally reduces the enemy defenses up to 30%. This means that he is a natural tank shredder and can even forgo building Malefic Roar in most matches, giving him more room for other items. In the late game, just summoning clones and letting them fight the enemy is enough, which lets us stay safe while our clones do the dirty work. But the clones do have their disadvantages, in that they also provide additional targets for enemies to lifesteal or spellvamp from. Heroes with AoE skills like Ruby and Alucard actually benefit a lot when Soon is on the enemy side, as they are able to heal from his clones as well. This is why Soon should not be blind picked, and you should consider these factors when picking him into these heroes on the enemy lineup. In the right situation though, Soon is a huge threat and can solo carry a team to victory. He is a massive split push threat, being able to 1v1 almost any enemy in the late game if they defend. Even if the enemy denies the split push, he can rotate quickly and burst down squishies in an instant. And if your team doesn't want to take the Lord, you're also able to take it yourself. Overall, Soon has been a solid solo carry EXP laner for me this season, with the caveat that he needs the team to survive the early game without his help. And finally, we come to one of my favorite EXP lane fighters to play this season, and it's none other than the banger himself, Argus. This fallen angel has a relatively poor reputation in the community as he's not the best hero against coordinated teams, but it's in the chaos of solo queue where Argus really thrives. Due to the nature of solo queue, two things happen which really benefit the banger's playstyle. Number 1, most players don't know how to close out matches early, so matches eventually reach late game when Argus really shines with his full item build. And number 2, most players, even in Mythic Glory, are mostly uncoordinated and group up less, which is when Argus can take advantage of going for 1v1s or 1v2s. But again, he does have his weaknesses, which is teamfighting against a more coordinated team that sticks together. Even though his ult has a decently long duration, grouped up and coordinated enemies can layer CC on him to render him ineffective and vulnerable. But in those cases, Argus can keep forcing split pushes that either pulls the entire enemy team to him and frees up space, or make them split up and try to take him down. Another weakness is that Argus doesn't have the best early game, and his power spike usually comes after getting 3 items. So similar to Soon, the team does need to survive that stage, but as mentioned, solo queue is more forgiving in that sense, as players typically are unable to end the game quickly, meaning you'll eventually hit your power spike. Out of the 5 heroes listed so far, Argus has been the hero that has consistently delivered me the craziest comebacks from the most impossible to win matches, thanks to his superb backline diving abilities and split pushing power. This is why Argus has been my favorite solo carry EXP laner to carry in the deepest and darkest of dark systems this season. And that's all of the 5 EXP laners that I've been exploiting during this ranked season. As always, if you agree or disagree with my takes on these heroes, you can leave your opinions in the comments. Thank you for making it this far, and I'll see you guys in the next one.